Good evening, Central New York. We have some new information to pass along. We've been tracking this round of thunderstorms that has moved across Central New York. The storms are now approaching Utica. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for the city of Utica in effect until 7:45. This storm has rolled through Rome. It has had a history of producing some wind damage. There's been some wires down. And there's also been a lot of lightning with this. In fact, we have seen an increase in the number of lightning strikes over the past half hour. And again, this storm is very slowly moving to the east, and it has the ability and the capability of producing some wind damage. So if you are seeing the storms to the west, it's time to get into shelter. This is all straight line wind. This is not tornadic in nature. We'll take a look at the winds with this too, but it's primarily wind, and it's primarily heavy rainfall and lots of thunder and lightning. There's a lot of humidity in the atmosphere, so these storms can definitely pack a punch. Let me show you a couple of things. So we just did a push alert to people to ask them to join us in coverage if they are interested in the storm coverage here. Couple of things. So when we do extended coverage, you often notice we'll look at the winds in a storm. And I do have some good news there. Well, in some ways. And the wind is primarily straight line. There's not a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere, but this is a signature that says straight line wind. So it's kind of a broad signature here that winds with severe thunderstorms could get strong enough to create some damage. And so that's why we're asking people to seek shelter when this arrives, this is standard. Standard procedure with a severe thunderstorm warning is to get inside. Severe thunderstorms have the ability of producing damaging wind. And this one could also produce hail as well, although I haven't seen any reports of hail yet. Just looking at the feed here, we're getting some messages from people, so I'm going to just take a look. So looking at some storm clouds, they look pretty ominous. Actually, let's see what we can find from our tower cam, because we should have a pretty good view of this to the north. So this is our tower cam. Yeah, we can kind of see the very so this top part of the cloud. So that's usually related to the inflow, the air that goes into a storm. That's pretty common with strong storms. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, this is a pretty cool shot right here. In fact, I'm going to try and see if I can take this full screen. This is a live look at our tower cam as this storm is rolling in. And I'm going to look at a couple of things for a second off screen as I'm getting new notifications here. Oh, okay. So this is actually not related to storm coverage, but there's something that I do have to take care of. So I do have some breaking news. The storm survey just came out, and this is something that happened yesterday. It is confirmed, the tornado that was confirmed in Pittsfield is an EF1. So I'm going to update some products here since I'm all by myself here in the Weather Center today. I have to be more than one person for a moment. So I'm going to turn the camera off for just a minute. You'll still so let me take care of a few things and get the storm survey out as quickly as possible. I know a lot of people were interested in hearing what what happened with this. And when I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and I'll read to you what the survey said. Okay. Some breaking news. Again, this was from yesterday. This tornado that happened yesterday has been surveyed. The National Weather Service was in town today. They confirmed this as an EF1 tornado with peak winds at 105 miles an hour. It touched down 1 mile east of Pittsfield, and it lifted 4 miles east-southeast of Morris. It was on the ground for 8.39 miles, and the maximum width was 300 yards. So that's a pretty long-lived tornado. A lot of times the tornadoes around here are short-lived. Again, this is for yesterday. This is not anything to do with today, but I'm just giving folks an idea. I just posted the storm survey on my page. So if you want to read all of it, you can go to my page if you're interested in that. You can see the storms starting to move into Utica. What you're seeing across the top of your screen is the storm structure. The storm structure this is pretty common. There's nothing unusual that's going on here for your typical strong storm. On the right-hand side, the reason why that is kind of blurred out is because it's raining. The rain's coming down pretty hard. And this is also going to create quite a bit of rain. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for this. Again, this is producing some damaging wind, and it's really knocking on the doorstep of Utica. And it's going to move through Utica. So I'm going to let some people that I know, that I care about, let them know. There's a ton of lightning with this. I'm actually surprised that we're not seeing it from our tower cam. Of course, it's daytime. It doesn't show up quite as well. Let me widen the view out, give you a different perspective. A lot of times, too, people get really panicky about these clouds for a good reason. We've had our fair share of severe weather here, but what you're seeing across the sky, it may look a little ominous, but I don't expect it to cause any big problems. And I'm going to be selfish for just a second before this rolls in. I actually want to see this for myself. I'll be right back. I won't be outside. I'm just going to take a peek from our window. So yeah, that's actually pretty pretty ominous. There's a lot of heavy rain that's starting to move in here on Smith Hill. But yeah, what you're seeing there is I know we're getting a lot of photos of that, the sky structure here, but it's primarily heavy rain, heavy tons and tons of lightning, strong winds. But this is pretty standard stuff here in terms of summertime storms. The concern is the wind damage with this. And this is why the National Weather Service has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. We'll go ahead and look at the radar again. The lightning number, the lightning count has come up, 135 strikes now. That gives you just a general idea. It's simple, but it gives you a general idea of how strong the thunderstorm is. I'm actually going to leave the tower cam up here because I think this is probably until we lose our view, which we will once the rain comes in. It kind of just gives you some perspective here, and I'll kind of scan the horizon again. This is we're not expecting any tornadoes today. This is not the same type of setup. So while the sky looks ominous, this is not tornadic. This is just the structure of a thunderstorm that is capable of producing some wind damage. So this is looking east. Again, the sky is pretty ominous. It looks scary. It's mostly rain though, and look at the rain. Normally we could see the city of Utica from here. We'll zoom in. That's not humidity. That is pouring rain. It's pouring rain moving into the city of Utica. So as we're taking a live look from our tower cam. Our tower cam is located on our building, on our tower here on WKTV. We're in Deerfield. We overlook the Mohawk Valley. It's currently looking to the south and east. So we are looking at the leading edge of the storm. So we're kind of looking at so we would be looking in this direction. There's a ton of lightning with this. So now, actually, the Weather Service just upgraded this warning. Let me take a look. Yeah, so the Weather Service is actually concerned for a little bit of rotation. I'm not quite sure where they're seeing that. Let me take a look. Okay, so they think they might. I think they're looking at what was just west of Whitestown. So there's a very brief swirl there, but whatever was there is not there anymore. So we'll definitely have to double check that. But yeah, I'm primarily concerned about wind damage here. It is possible that this could have swirled up somewhere. It's you never say never with these things, even though we don't have the risk today. We don't have the wind shear. I've seen stranger things happen. But again, I want to stress what we do know. In these situations, we do know that these things produce wind. And this is a storm that has had a history of producing damage. So we take severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. We ask people to go inside as this thing's rolling through. But in terms of anything that's happening at the moment, I'm not seeing anything on the radar to be alarmed about in terms of wind. But yeah, that actually did a few images ago. That little blip just south of Rome, right there. Yeah, that kind of looks a little ominous for sure. But it's not happening now. This was around 7:06. So we'll have to see if there was any damage on that side too. But yeah, if anybody does have any reports of wind damage, we would definitely appreciate it. That's another thing that we're constantly looking for. You can hear the thunder as it's moving in here on Smith Hill. I'm going to take a quick break to let the newsroom know what's going on. Okay, so bear with me. I'm a single anchor here. Well, a couple of things. As you can see, the warning has been extended into southern Herkimer County, which means we're going to have to jump on television for this. So we're going to get that. We're going to get that ready in just a second. I'm going to do that right now. Yeah. Can we wait? Is 7:30 good? All right. Thank you. So as we're getting ready to cut into WKTV, um, it's our protocol when there's severe thunderstorm warnings, especially with storms that are producing damage, to jump into programming. We have some limitations as to how long we can be on TV, which is why we're trying to expand and do things like this. So we're gonna be on TV around 7:30. We'll be on TV for probably a minute or two. While we're getting ready for this, there's a few things that are coming across my desk here. One of them was there was some structural damage that Cam, can you hear me? Oh, I thought Cam, our director, is talking to me. Um, can you hear me, Cam? Okay. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. Good evening, Central New York. We're interrupting programming because we have a new thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm warning for southern Herkimer County. And this is having a history of producing some damage. We've been getting some damage from this as it moved across Rome. So if you are in the path of this one, we are asking people to take shelter. I know severe thunderstorm warning, we get a lot of them in the summer, but this one is giving us more reasons of concern than not to get into it inside here. The potential of 60-mile-an-hour winds and some small hail, but again, it's confirmed damage that has taken place earlier when the storm was just south of Rome. And again, a lot of lightning with this too, 145 lightning strikes. So if you live across southern Herkimer County, get indoors while this storm rolls through. This is also the western part of Fulton and Montgomery County. So again, need to get inside with this until the storm blows through. That severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 8:15. We'll return you back to normal programming, but I also want to let you know, if you are interested in extended coverage, we are on YouTube. We are on Facebook now. We've been on there for about the past half hour. We're going to continue coverage on there as well. So as another alternative, if you are looking for extended coverage on these storms. Okay, so just got off the air on WKTV. Again, we have protocols here. We're typically on for about a minute or so because we have programming. We try not to interrupt unless it's an emergency, which if there's a tornado warning, we will. There's enough to be concerned about here. Like I mentioned during the cut-in of taking shelter, it's very important to do so when you have any severe thunderstorm warning because they can produce wind, and it can be straight line wind. It could be tornadoes like we saw yesterday. That tornado touchdown in Pittsfield was confirmed today. That took place yesterday. But again, our focus will be on what's happening now. And I'm also I'm going to take a minute to look on my information feed and see what's new and what I can pass along to you. And see if there's anything relevant here. All right. Give me a second. I've got more. I wish I could multiply myself sometimes. When we do have severe weather coverage, we try to have multiple people here, but sometimes it is what it is. So just bear with me. I'm going to try and push out some information. Not only am I trying to collect information, but I'm also trying to push out information as well. So one thing that I just pushed out was if you're interested in reading about the storm survey, the National Weather Service issued that for Pittsfield. It was an EF1 tornado. You can read all the details about it if you're interested. I just posted on my Facebook page. Binghamton just finished their storm survey on that. Another thing I'm going to send out is the new warning for Herkimer County. We have so many different platforms today. There's so many different ways that we're pushing information, and we really try our best to try to do as many as we can. Um, and so, okay, so the warning has been extended, and the tornado tag has been extended too. So there is the possibility here. The Weather Service is seeing some very weak rotation with this. It's not showing up very well. I think what they're looking at is here. Take a look. Very, very noisy. It's hard to pick out anything here. I'm just not quite. I'm not quite seeing anything alarming. If there's so, I think you can kind of see, sometimes the dilemma. See the different shades of boxes here. You've got that red color versus the orange. There's different tags that the National Weather Service puts on these warnings. Like this one, the red tag is a tornado possible tag, and the orange one is a typical thunderstorm with no tornado signature. I think there might be some interpretations going on here between Albany and Binghamton. There's two different Weather Service offices, and I'm kind of leaning on the Albany side. I'm not quite seeing it, at least now with the latest scans. There might have been some previous scans that had a very small swirl with it, so that might be why the Weather Service is continuing this from Binghamton. But there's mixed data here, and so I just want to be careful because I don't want to tell you more than I know, but I also don't want to minimize anything. I know that these storms have the possibility of producing straight line wind. Is it possible that there could have been a spin up out of this? Absolutely. There's always the chance with these storms. There's never a day where you can say with absolute certainty that it's not possible to get a tornado because we've seen them happen in very strange situations. I don't see anything at the moment to tell you that you need to get into your basement. I just don't. Get inside, absolutely, but take this one seriously. But don't panic over this. It's not panic at the moment. If I see anything different, I'll let you know. I have to hold that thought for a second. Let me add more information here. Okay. Yes. So let me give you an update on situation. So for those of you that are just joining the live stream, we're tracking a round of strong storms moving across the Mohawk Valley. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect: southern Oneida County, Madison County, northern Otsego County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. It has this thing called tornado possible tag because there was a very brief swirl that was noted on the radar. It was probably about half an hour ago. It does look like the signature is weakened, but Weather Service is taking some precautions here just in case. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning for the Mohawk Valley that includes southern Herkimer, Fulton, Montgomery County. This does not have the tornado tag on it. This is mainly straight line wind and some locally heavy rainfall. This storm is going to be moving to the south and east. There's a lot of heavy rain. There's a lot of wind with this, and there's a lot of lightning. There's an incredible amount of lightning here. 123 strikes in the past half hour. It's the type of situation you're going to want to be indoors as this rolls through. And we'll also take a look at our tower cam. So we do have a view of this, although it is starting to become more rain involved. But let me show you the view from our tower cam. Actually, how about that? That's a rainbow. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, we've got that's a nice way to end these storms rolling through, right? So we're looking east. We're looking to the east as those storms roll through. Yeah, just a lot of heavy rain. I'm actually gonna step off camera here. I don't have a window in my I've never had a window in any weather office that I've ever worked in. Everybody jokes about it, but I have to physically walk out to a different side of the building to see things. I'm going to take a look outside and see how things are playing out here on Smith Hill. I'll be right back. So I just took a peek outside. I also walked through the newsroom and just got done talking with Jason Paulus. We do have damage reports to pass along. There was a tree down on a home in Utica. No word on any injuries. There was also there's some structural damage to a place just south of Rome. We have a crew heading in that direction, and there was another spot of tree damage just down the hill that we were sending someone to as well. So some of the very early reports coming in indicate that there was some damage. We heard some damage on the scanners, and we can confirm that there has been some wind damage with this. I'll pass this along to the people that need to know that. And as you're looking at the tower camera, you can see a rainbow here on Smith Hill. Actually, the sun is just starting to peek out in the parking lot here. So while it is starting to clear out here, it's a different story for folks south of the New York State Thruway. You can see this thunderstorm complex is producing a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain, and it's producing some damaging winds. So you've got to be inside here. You got to seek shelter. It's mostly straight line wind that's a primary concern, but we've been watching this pretty closely, and there has been some very suspicious images of some stronger winds embedded along this line. I think most of it's straight line. But either way, it's producing damage. So you've got to get inside. You've got to seek shelter until this rolls through. Also, too, just to give you an idea, it's kind of a challenge forecasting these storms because as they get stronger, they tend to turn right. So initially, it looked like this storm is going to go up into the Adirondacks, and I think I reported that in the 6 o'clock news. This is the direction that it's going. It's going to move into the Adirondacks. Well, it just completely blew up. And when storms do that, they start to turn direction. They start to what we call right-hand turners. This one really turned right. That was not expected. It turned a completely different direction. So instead of going into the Adirondacks, it ends up going into the Mohawk Valley. And it's continuing to do that. It's continuing to show that motion, which is not good. It's usually symbolizes the intensity of the storm. And again, it's just one of the many challenges with severe weather. It's not these things are not simple at all. As you can see, also you could see some storms to the west out near Rochester will have to be watched too. But again, our focus and attention will be on what's happening here in our immediate area with this storm rolling through. Now, like mentioned before, this tornado possible tag, the Weather Service will issue these when there's some possibility of spin showing up in the radar. It's not strong enough where they would issue a tornado warning, but they'll put it out there just in case. You can see there's two different colors here. There's two different Weather Service offices. Albany says no tornado possible. Binghamton says tornado could be possible. So there's some different opinions here as well. And it's just the bottom line is, like mentioned, get inside. These things are producing wind damage, and it's whether the specific images with rotation are showing up or not is debatable at the moment. But what is not debatable is the wind damage. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to focus on what we know. And that storm continues to drop south. Oh, that part looks pretty intense here. This is the northern part of it. It actually looks like that might be producing some small hail. This is right over West Winfield. So you can see that bright color kind of showing up here. Part of it is just the storm is moving up and over the Mohawk Valley, and there's a natural zone of lift here. So yeah, some locally heavy rain. Also, too, the Weather Service might extend this warning south if this continues to hold together. Here's some of the storm clouds from earlier today. This was at Max Vernich. So it was pretty ominous earlier today. I don't know how well that's going to show up on the stream. Some of the storm structure with that. Here's another one. This is from Nick Phelps in New Hartford. Again, this is when the storms were rolling through earlier. Hold on. This camera is very confused. So there's the storm structure as the storms were rolling through New Hartford. Oh yeah, there's another video of the storm rolling through. This was over in this was Ilion? New York Mills. So a lot of you experienced that. Some of the strong winds coming through. And that, again, that's very common with these severe thunderstorms. All right, so a radar update. You can see how things have evolved. The strongest part of this kind of going in two different directions here. You've got this one over West Winfield. You see this possible spot where hail could be being produced. And then there's another one on the western flank here over Stockbridge. So the most intense parts of the storm on the western side. The lightning counter is 119. It's holding steady. Storm is maintaining its intensity. Still very capable of producing straight line winds. Let's see if there's anything to be concerned about on the velocity. All right, so this is from the Binghamton radar, and you can see some wind showing up higher aloft. See all these the greens and reds. There's really if you've been watching severe weather coverage long enough, you'll know the reds and greens are usually bad, right? Reds and greens together, that usually indicates circulation, possible tornadoes, or tornado touchdown. In this environment, you've got reds and greens all over the place, and it's very hard to pick out any specific features of any wind that would be most likely producing damage. But I want to go backwards in time to earlier. So when the storm was just south of Rome, there was some broad scale rotation here. Initially, it wasn't like that. Initially, it was straight line. So right here, this is straight line wind. How do I know that? Well, because with respect to the radar, so here's the radar sites, and here's the red. So what's happening is the wind is moving like this towards the radar site, and this green indicates it's moving away. So this would be when there's more red than green, that typically indicates more of a downdraft. The other issue here is they're not lined up correctly if you're looking for tornado circulation, because this is going with the clock. So this is going clockwise. On the other side here, this would be more of your cyclonic rotation, which is on the wrong side of the storm. It's not just the wind, but it's got to be the position of it too, and where it's headed. So just quick big picture, you can see that there's a severe thunderstorm warning on the next round rolling through. This is Rochester. So we'll have to watch that for later this evening. Obviously, our bigger concern is what's happening now. Complex of storms continuing to move across the southern valleys and into the southern half of the Mohawk Valley. Plenty of lightning with this. Here's a view from our tower cam. So we're on the back side of it. We saw a really great shot of a rainbow earlier, but now it's diminished. But what I want to show you is look at how quickly the sun comes back out. There we go. Look at how quickly the sun comes back out. We're already starting to see the sun poke through here on Smith Hill. So once these things go through, that'll be it for a while. We'll be watching the next round. I'm getting a lot of really great video, and I'll show you some of this. Oh, this is a great video. This was in Augusta. So this is an image of a shelf cloud. So that's from Jen Camp. This is the leading edge of the shelf cloud. So this was in Augusta at 7 o'clock. So a lot of storm structure there. A lot of different features. There's the shelf cloud. There's inflow. This is not tornadic, but these clouds are often get mistaken for tornadoes. This is scud. This is an inflow part of the storm. You can tell for a variety of reasons. Probably the most helpful is it doesn't look like a wedge. It almost looks like a polygon. It's not the right shape that you would see, and the sides are not defined. If you're ever looking for a funnel, you're usually looking for a very sharp definition of this. And the third one is in the video that she sends, that part's not rotating. So she does send a video, and actually it's really cool. I'm going to save this and I'm going to post this on my page. Always got to listen to the video, just in case. And I think you know why. Okay. Let that go. All right. We're just waiting on the National Weather Service to see if they're going to extend the severe thunderstorm warning into Otsego County. And if they do, are they going to continue the tornado possible tag or not? There's nothing that I'm seeing here that would be of concern for that. Nothing really strong. Nothing that stands out to me of we need to be alarmed by rotation. However, what does alarm me is how intense this part of the storm is just west of Richfield. That's a lot of that's a pretty strong signal on the radar of some very heavy rainfall and probably some hail. And I'll put a storm track on this. Moving very slowly to the south and east. I think this does eventually go to Cooperstown in about a half hour. Richfield, it's right on you now. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and the possibility of some strong wind. So if you're in Cooperstown, just a heads up, this is heading your way. Also, too, I'm going to take a peek on the weather page. Unfortunately, it's not easy for me to read your comments, to answer any questions. It's not very feasible when you're running and doing all this by yourself. So we've got some tree damage being reported by Andrew in Chadwicks. I have 151 comments. There is no way. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. I'm more than I think it's a great problem to not be able to read all this information, at least in the moment. But I will go back when this stream is done. I will go back and read your comments. And if you do have any questions, again, I do apologize. It's just not very easy to see them in real time here. I'm only able to see the top 4 of these. Actually, there might be another way to do this. Hold on. Oh, yes. Now I remember. I give Eric credit for this one. So Eric Gage, he's our morning meteorologist. He's a very hard worker, a really great guy. He's kind of our tech guy. He knows a lot about the in and outs of social media, and he's helped us out a lot. And I do remember him telling me there's a way to access the chat and get all your comments. And of course, now it's not working. No new warnings to pass along at the moment. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning. The lightning count's 113. That hasn't really changed very much. So everything seems to be steady Eddie. All right. I can hear the scanner in the newsroom, and it's been going off for quite a while. So I'm actually going to take just a moment to walk over and talk with Jason and see if there's anything new to pass along in terms of any damage reports. So I will be right back briefly. All right. Jason Paulus informs me that there's a lot of power outages in Chadwicks and Sequoia, and there's also the Willowville Fire Department's working on 5 different trees down situations. So yeah, there's been a lot of damage with these storms as they have rolled through central New York. I'm looking at the power outage map right now. And I'm happy. Well, okay. So, 1,400 people are without power at the moment in Oneida County, 152 in Herkimer County. And the, like Jason mentioned, the largest areas are Chadwick's, Patton, Clayville, Whitesboro. There's Whitestown actually has a number of people that are without power. 751 Whitestown, Yorkville, and Whitesboro. Not a day to be without power, that's for sure. Don't want to be without the ability to run your air conditioner on days like today. Even at night, it just doesn't cool off enough. You're only in the 70s at night. That's very, very uncomfortable sleeping weather. Nothing new from the no new warnings to pass along. So this severe thunderstorm warning expires in 10 minutes for Herkimer County. This one expires in also 10 minutes. Oh, this one's 8:30. Ooh, I think we have a new update. By the way, this app, our Storm Tracker 2 app, I get alerts here faster than sometimes on this computer system. So this one actually alerts me. This is a storm in Lewis County. So northern Lewis County. So technically not. That's more of the Watertown market. If you're interested in coverage, go to your Watertown affiliate for that. Our focus is going to be on Oneida, Herkimer, Otsego County. We're a television station out of Utica. So 7 after 8, we've been streaming now for close to an hour. Thunderstorms moved across Oneida County through a lot of population zones. It's produced a lot of wind damage. We had trees that came down. There were several reports of trees down, power outages, thunder, lightning. The storms are continuing to move to the south and east. Our plan is to stay on this stream unless these storms fall apart. We're going to kind of just hang on this stream for a little while, at least until these severe thunderstorm warnings are done. I'm running solo today, and there's a lot of things that I'm trying to do at the same time. So you will notice me walk out. If I pause and I don't talk for a little while, don't take that as the microphone died. I'm just going into different directions here because our primary job during severe weather is to try to explain and push this out as many ways as possible. This platform is just one way. There's many other ways that we're doing this, and not only pushing out information, but also collecting information. So it's probably a 2 to 3 person job if it's done well enough. What we will manage, even with one person, we'll do the best we can. All right. Enough of my ranting. I apologize. Some great pictures of mammatus clouds. Actually, James just sent this to me. So our weather team is on a group chat. James DeFazio just sent me this cool picture of mammatus clouds. So shout out to him. That's pretty cool. Mammatus clouds, by the way, are clouds that typically form in the wake of strong storms. So the storm has moved through and you're seeing the backside of it. Let's take a look at the Cooperstown camera, because this is where it's headed next. This is Cooperstown. Doesn't look like it's even raining there yet, but it will. Oh. Looks like they updated the warning. They updated the warning for Utica. Now Utica is now out of the severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. Sorry, Cooperstown. I'll put you aside for a moment. All right. So there's something here that I want to take a closer look at. All right. This side of the storm showing some very weak rotation. The wind is going towards the radar. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I get this right. Actually, this is not. Hold on. Which radar site are we looking at? That's clockwise. Yeah, there's so. Got some strong wind going on here. So this is just between Burlington and Edmonston. Some strong winds kind of showing up on the radar. It's the leading edge of the storms as they roll through. So by the way, I get tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of messages that I appreciate that, but I'm trying to go through these too while being on this platform with you. Um, I am on, yes. You can interrupt.
Some dangers, trees down to Oxford Road in New Hartford.
Oxford Road, trees down. It's from Jason Paulus.
Snowden Hill Road, Snowden Hill, which is off of Oxford.
Snowden Hill Road, is that from our esteemed colleague or is that somewhere else?
That's per scanners.
Okay.
Okay. I'll text you.
I'll text that person.
No.
No, really?
She's okay. I don't know how that.
Okay. Yeah, this is pretty nasty. We're continuing to get reports of damage from this, and it did damage. It did damage. It's not something you like to hear. So this is some thunderstorm wind damage was reported in Herkimer, 7:38. We have a new thunderstorm warning. We have 2 new thunderstorm warnings. So this is for Otsego County until 9:15 and Fulton, Montgomery County, I'm sorry, and northern Schoharie County until 9 o'clock. I'm happy to report that the tornado possible tag has been removed, which is good, but this is still producing wind, still producing wind damage. A lot of this is straight line wind damage, and I have to emphasize that a lot. I know the emphasis has been on tornadoes because we just had that touchdown yesterday in Pittsfield. But most of the time, when you're getting wind from a storm, it's from straight line wind, and it's just as serious, and it can be just as destructive. It just doesn't form a path, and it doesn't swirl. That's it. It could be just as strong as a tornado. And most of the time, that's what happens. I know people get into arguments about this all the time of whether it was a microburst or a tornado, and they swear it's a tornado. But the bottom line is it's damage. It's wind damage. And that's very common in storms. So our protocol is we're going to jump back on WKTV with this new warning. We'll be brief. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good evening, Central New York. This is Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, interrupting programming briefly to pass along new information on storms we've been following all evening long. A severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for southern and central Otsego County until 9:15. This storm has had a history of producing wind damage. We've had multiple locations with wind damage, trees down, and power outages as it has rolled through the Mohawk Valley. So again, take this seriously, get indoors. Most of this is straight line wind, but wind is wind. And we've been getting damage with this as well. So this is until 9:15 this evening. We have been doing extended coverage. If you're looking to watch continuous coverage of this, we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. You can search for WKTV Weather on Facebook You can search for News Channel 2 on YouTube for extended coverage of this. Again, we'll jump back into programming if there's anything new. But again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Otsego County until 9:15. Thanks, Cam.
Still live?
I'm still live on YouTube.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
If I get to damage, should I lead with the damage first and then go to you, or are we still gonna be in the middle of something at 10 o'clock?
To be honest, I haven't looked at anything to the west yet. I've been all entirely focused on all of this. So I think probably the damage would be the number one.
Then go to us, okay?
Yeah. Okay, so you're seeing how things work behind the scenes. We just did a severe weather cut-in for WKTV. When we get new warnings, especially in a situation like this where there's been a lot of damage, it's imperative that we get on television. We don't stay on television typically unless it's an emergency, unless it's a tornado warning, or if there's something that reaches a level where it's just really bad and a lot of people are affected. And so we have certain protocols that we do. It's mostly tornado warnings where we do extended coverage. But again, we'll be on here. We'll be on this stream for a while longer. You can see the icons that are starting to pop up here. That's the National Weather Service collects storm reports. So far, there's 2 of them. I think we'll be seeing more of them as they trickle in. It takes time for information to travel. I know people won't like to hear that, but it's true. It just takes a little while for reports to be passed along. All right, so for those of you that maybe have just tuned in recently to this stream, my name is Bill Cardis. I'm the chief meteorologist for WKTV. We're a TV station in Utica, and we are covering storms tonight. The storms originated just west of Rome at, it was earlier this afternoon. It's probably about 4:30 to 5 o'clock when they first started. They moved across Oneida County. They produced some really strong wind damage in parts just south of Rome. The storms have moved through a large area, a large populated zone from Rome to Utica. Oh, I've got some new information here. This is not good. This is a flash flood warning. Let me see if I can give you the information on this. Yeah, we've got a flash flood warning in effect for southeastern Oneida County and central Madison County. And it's been observed, which means we have confirmation of this. I'm going to... so let me give you the... Let me change a few things and I can tell you, I can give you some more information on this. To do a few things on the fly. All right, hold on. Okay, so here's what's going on. There's a flash flood warning for southern Oneida County. So what's been happening here is these storms have trained. They've been moving over the same spot over and over and over again. And the specific spot that I'm looking at where the rain is highest, if I can give you, I'm changing some products on the fly here. There we go. All right. Bear with me. I'm going to do things on the fly here. So this is the spot of concern. Pretty heavy rainfall here. Storms have been moving over the same spot over and over and over again, and it's causing flash flooding. So there's a flash flood warning for. I'll bring up the zone in just a second, but you can see it. You can see the highlights here. This is the spot where the heaviest rain has happened, Paris-Sequoia, and I'm gonna pass this along to the newsroom. I'll be right back. I'm back. I don't have any new information on that flash flood warning. But what I can tell you is that the zone that I have highlighted here is the spot of concern because of some very, very heavy rainfall. In fact, I'll just I'll show you the spot. So this is the flash flood warning. It's in effect until 11:30, and it includes southern Oneida County and very small parts of Madison County. It's a an observed flash flood, which means the Weather Service issued this because of the reports that were coming in. Those reports we are still working on gathering. We're not exactly sure where that came from, but we're working on it. From what we think might have been happening, it was in the Clinton area. But again, we're going to have to follow up on that and get more information. All right, so update on the severe thunderstorm. See if there's anything new to pass along. Storms are continuing to move south. It's a very heavy rain is now finally starting to exit southern Oneida County. Flash flood warning from some of the training that was happening there. The storm's just moving over the same spot over and over and over again. This storm continues to move through Otsego County, producing some strong weather. We'll see if we can. We'll bring up the Cooperstown cam. We'll see how this has changed. You can see the wind, a little bit of wind starting to show up here. Let's see if I can move that camera. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that from here. Try it.
There it is.
Oh yeah, there we go. So this is a live look in Cooperstown. We are looking towards a severe storm moving in your direction. If you're in Cooperstown, you're going to want to get inside. You're going to want to seek shelter. It's mainly a wind concern. And we're going to stay on this shot for a while and see if anything, we'll see how it changes and watch the storm roll in together. So we're looking at a severe thunderstorm moving into Cooperstown. We're going to watch this blow through. You can see the wind is starting to pick up. The trees are starting to move around. We'll see how strong the winds get. And we'll also take a look around. So you're watching our live camera in Cooperstown, looking to the north and west at a severe thunderstorm, a storm that's had a history of producing damaging wind, power outages, heavy rain, possible flash flooding. Well, confirmed flash flooding, actually. And plenty of lightning. You can see some of the flashes taking place. We're going to sit on this for a little while as it rolls through. So you're starting to see the wind pick up. You're starting to see the wind pick up. You'll see the rain come in. And we'll watch this together. So, yeah, lots of lightning flashes. It looks like the rain's just starting to come in. Again, this is Cooperstown, New York. We're looking at storms rolling in. Yeah, it looks pretty ominous, doesn't it? Here it is. Live look at Cooperstown. Just to duck out of this for just a second. Here it is. Here's what we're watching. We're watching the storm coming in. We'll go back to the Cooperstown camera. Watch the thunder and lightning move through.
Is that your email, Bill?
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay. All right. We're just getting a lot of people that are without power, and this is a tough night to be without power. It's a very warm and humid night, and yeah, we do have several power outages. Yeah, some of these pictures are incredible. I'm going to share a few on my Facebook page. I'll yeah, the Mattis clouds are really cool. But yeah, look what's going on here. I mean, this is many of you experienced this with the storms across the Mohawk Valley. Now the southern valleys are starting to see this. This is a live look in Cooperstown. The storm is rolling in. There's a lot of thunder and lightning, and that storm is continuing to track to the south. There's heavy rain. There's lots and lots of lightning with this. It's 110 lightning strikes still. All right, so there's a few things that need to be mentioned here too. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on here. All right. What is this? Okay. So you can see how. All right. One thing at a time. New flash flood warning. This is for northern Otsego County. Storms keep moving over the same spot over and over and over again. The spot to watch, or the zone, because there's so many different warnings here, I want to try and clean this up. Yeah, we have multiple flash flood warnings here, and I'm just going to I'm going to take a screenshot of this. There's not an easy way to do this. Can't do that. So there's multiple spots that are under flash flood warnings. Southern Herkimer County, northern Otsego County, southern Oneida County. The zone has just gotten slammed with rain. It's just gotten an absolutely ton of rain. And if you're driving in this area, you've got to be mindful that the roads can be easily flooded over, especially in poor drainage areas. Did the U.S. score?
1-0 U.S.
1-0 USA. So we have our newsroom is they've got the game in the background. Okay, so flash flood warnings. Southern Oneida, southern Herkimer, northern Otsego County. Heavy rain. Be careful. This bright spot, this bright box, is a severe thunderstorm warning for Lewis and Oswego counties. This is tagged destructive in terms of the wind. The 70-mile-an-hour winds with this line coming through. So this line is potent. We've already seen a potent line of storms, so I think this is more of a continuation of what has been going on. But this next round is going to be rolling through, so that's going to be probably in the next hour. More storms will be coming through. They're actually here a little bit early, and I'm just trying to figure out why, because I thought this was going to be 10 p.m. So what changed? Oh yeah, they just accelerate over the lake. Wow, you could see like how fast they move, and just this is only 2 hours. They almost crossed almost all of Lake Ontario in 2 hours. So that's incredible. That's an incredible speed to them. Again, that's why there's probably most likely why there's a warning on that, because if they're moving that fast, they're going to be producing winds that fast. That's a very common thing. But yeah, that's going to be moving into Lewis County here. The brunt of this, at least the worst of it, I don't know if this is going to be all of Lewis County. This might only just be the southern part and the northern part. There's tornado tag possible for northern New York, but not for Lewis County. This is mainly strong winds. All right, let's go back to Cooperstown. Cooperstown is in the thick of it right now. Take a look at that. Move the camera. It's a good old-fashioned summer storm going on right now.
Is that the same flooding?
Okay, we were getting some reports of flooding in Clinton. All right. So here's the big picture. Storms continue to move south and east. For those of you that got hit hard in the Mohawk Valley, there's a little bit of a breather for now. There's flash flooding that is going to be taking place, if it hasn't already, in the southern part of Oneida County, southern Herkimer County, northern Madison County. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Otsego County for the storms that are continuing to produce some strong winds. There's places that got hit hard yesterday that are getting hit hard again. And you can see on the radar some pretty strong indications of some heavy rainfall. There's nothing that is concerning of anything rotating with this. This is mostly straight line wind, but this is hitting places that got hit hard yesterday, which is unfortunate. So the storms are moving across the southern valleys through Otsego County, and they're moving out of the Mohawk Valley. There's leftover issues with flash flooding, southern Herkimer, northern Otsego County. These storms dumped a ton of rain in a short period of time. There's more storms to track to the west. In fact, unfortunately, it looks like these are going to be the next round west of Syracuse. These are going to be rolling in as we head into this evening. It's got the possibility of producing some strong wind too. So it's going to be a pretty long evening here in central New York, but thankfully I think there is an end here. That should be the last of it. So it's moving through quickly now, moving quickly from the west, so hopefully it won't be around for long. Wow. I mean, these just took on a life of their own. So look at how these just evolved. You know, thunderstorms are so challenging. I mean, look at how the right side of it in Fulton and Montgomery County just kind of blew up. So there's all kinds of things happening with thunderstorms in this environment. It just takes very little to get storms to develop. Any sort of converging wind or lifting is going to do it. And yeah, it looks like that's just become a line of storms. There's also storms coming in from the west. I guess the one good thing is this is going to move into a rain-cooled environment. So I would imagine it's not going to do the kind of destruction that the ones that we had did. The one exception would be the rainfall. That would be a concern because even if they weaken, there's still going to be heavy rainmakers. So we'll have to watch that. I appreciate all of your messages. There's some. I'm at the moment just not able to get to everybody's messages, but there's been a few really cool photos to show. I guess I'll show this. This one is one of my favorites. This is from Ken Smith. This is just a beautiful shot. So these are called mammatus clouds. A lot of people saw those in the wake of a storm. They form on the backside of a strong storm. Oh, this is another great shot. So here you go. Here's another shot of the mammatus clouds. You can see the National Weather Service has extended the severe thunderstorm warning for the storms to the west. So this includes western Oneida County, Syracuse, unfortunately, it looks like this is going to be the next round to watch. It just doesn't look like it's packing the kind of punch that the one that happened, the one that rolled through did. But there's going to be some wind with this, and some heavy rain, and that's going to be coming through probably in about an hour. So actually, this would arrive around 10. That was the initial estimate. Just we weren't that far off. So more wind damage in Stockbridge. I'm just going to post another picture.
Flooding has subsided.
Okay, flooding has subsided in Clinton from our boots on the ground. This is our Cooperstown camera. We'll go back to that. They're kind of on the tail end of the storm now.
Without getting reports on 911 down in Otsego County, town of Maryland, and some places like that, and trees and fires down.
Okay, thanks. We're getting reports of trees and trees down in the town of Maryland. So we're starting to get some reports in Otsego County of damage. You can see the storm rolling through Cooperstown. Yeah, so there's been some damage that has. The wind damage continues in Otsego County. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the next 15 minutes. – Go back to the Cooperstown camera. So this is Cooperstown. It's a familiar sight. Lots and lots of thunder and lightning. Cooperstown is now kind of on the backside of this, so the damaging wind threat is kind of waning. All right. Let's go back to the radar. Multiple things that are happening at the moment. The primary concern continues to be thunderstorm wind damage. We started streaming now. We've been streaming live now for almost 2 hours. This is Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis from WKTV. We had a round of storms that developed over Rome, west of Rome, and has been producing a ton of wind damage as it rolled across the Mohawk Valley and Southern Valleys. The storm is currently across the Southern Valleys, Otsego County, Schoharie County. It is still producing tons of lightning, 165 lightning strikes in the past half hour. We have flash flood warnings that have flash flood warnings because of what has happened in the wake of these storms. All this heavy rain has come down. Really, the rain has been really heavy, and it's produced flash flooding. And there's several flash flood warnings that are in effect. Southern Oneida County, Southern Herkimer County, Northern Otsego County, that zone where the storms just kept moving over and over and over again. These places are under a flash flood warning. While all that's going on, we're also watching these storms to the north. These storms are producing a ton of wind. The ones to the north just look nasty. I think these are more into the Adirondacks. As you can see, just based on the motion, this is going to be, probably the brunt of this is going to be the northern Adirondacks. So northern Herkimer County under severe thunderstorm warning. We're also watching the tail end of this, the southern flank of this, although it's moving into a rain-cooled environment. So it is possible that the edge kind of gets taken out as it moves east. We will know pretty shortly if that's going to be the case. We should know over the next half hour if they're weakening or if they're going to hold their strength. Even if they do hold their strength, they just don't look like the ones that came through prior. This line was just nasty. This was a very strong, potent line of wind. I think I have close to 100 messages that I'm going to have to sort through here, and that's just on Facebook. And that's just on my page. And then there's the weather page. I think we have more than 100. I think we're close to 200 comments. And I just have not had the time to answer your questions or concerns. And I do feel bad about that. I know we try to be interactive with people and try to answer your questions and concerns. But unfortunately, I can't be at two places at the same time. So our primary way of doing this is just going to be streaming from now on. This is kind of a relatively new thing that we're experimenting with, and I think this is kind of be the future of the way we cover weather. But the downside is, unless we have more than one meteorologist on duty, this is going to be, we're not going to be able to answer everybody's questions, at least while this is streaming. I think when we're done with this stream, I'll go back and see your pictures and go through some of your comments. So yeah, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Delaware County. This includes the southern part of Otsego County, Oneonta. You're underneath this severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. You've got to seek shelter with this. This storm has had a long history of producing wind damage. Many spots have had wind damage from this. Trees down, wires down, power outages, and it's mainly straight line wind. So you need to take shelter. You need to be indoors. I mean, now it's getting past sunset anyway, but you're going to want to be indoors and be ready to deal with some wind here as this drops south.
Ron, can I add anything to your coverage?
I am still covering, yes.
Okay, so
Jason Powell is here.
hello, folks.
Actually, if you put your hand up, it should, there it goes.
Cool. So just want to give you a couple of heads ups here. A colleague of mine that works at Utica University, his name's Doug Croft. He sent us some video, and I think I sent those to you too.
Is this it?
Yes, the video that's been sent. He said these photos are on the south side of Oxford Road in the video, and from what it looks like, he can tell, the wind damage came up over Snowden Hill Road, which comes and perpendicular to Oxford Road, in the direction of Oxford, and then it cut across the Sequoia Creek. So interesting stuff there. This is the video. That's video that Doug sent in to us.
Hold on.
First, that video right there.
I don't know if it's, there we go. So that's a pretty large tree.
Yeah, and I can't tell if there's a house behind it. There very well may be. Yes, a red house and a big tree on the power lines. That is south. If you're familiar with New Hartford, it's just south of Hillside Garden Apartments before you meet Oneida Street in Chadwick's. So, I mean, Washington. No, that's Chadwick's. Yeah, down in there. So,
are these both the same? Oh yeah, these are both the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I send both? I could
Yeah.
send.
No. Is this? Oh, these are pictures.
Those are pictures. If you want to share them with your viewers.
Okay.
So I just want to give you an update there. And it does sound like this storm in Otsego County is starting to create more damage. Let's hope it's nothing like we saw yesterday.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. They are getting, for those of you that got hit yesterday, you're getting the storm again. Thankfully, it's gotten a little bit weaker from what I can tell based on radar. It's not quite as intense, but it's obviously still a problem. And I know it's, for those of you that have dealt with yesterday's storm, I mean, I know that these storms can bring a lot of storm anxiety. Part of the reason why we're making so much of an effort to try to cover these things in greater length and in different ways is to kind of help you and kind of walk you through what's going on and what is the level of concern here, because sometimes things can escalate pretty quickly, especially if you're on social media and you're seeing things, and so we're just trying to give you the best information that we can get. And what we can tell you is that yes, this type of storm has produced a lot of wind damage. It's entirely straight line wind from what we can tell. We haven't had anything that would give us any reason to think otherwise. We've been getting a lot of wind damage from the storm as it headed south of Rome into Utica. There was wind damage in New Hartford. extending down into southern Otsego County. Some pictures, even Stockbridge. There was a photo of some wind damage. So yeah, I mean, a lot is going on tonight in terms of that. So we're almost through this, at least this initial round. But there's a few other things that we have to watch. We're going to have to watch that line to the west. That's the next thing that we're going to have to watch. It's moving in pretty quickly. I'm gonna try and get this video that Jason sent me. I'm gonna try and post this to my page. I try to get video out in as many different ways as I can. I will be right back.
Oh my God, it's great that sound. Come on. It's so awesome. Doing that on top of that.
All right. Storms are over Oneonta. Unfortunately, our Oneonta cam is down. We're not able to show you live pictures of that. More wind damage. More wind damage being reported. Like Jason mentioned, the scanners have been going off, and there's been reports. So this is in Hartwick. Trees and wires down Maple Road. That took place around 8:50. We also have trees and wires down at Phoenix Mills Road. That was at also 8:50. So yeah, we're just again continuing to track storms as they're moving out. Looks like we got a new. Yeah, these storms to the north are doing quite a bit. So this looks like it's going to be just north of Old Forge. Going to be a lot of thunder and lightning up here. So this is the Watertown market, but and I actually think this might be Burlington too. So Tupper Lake, some very intense storms up that way. Our storm coverage is going to kind of wind down here as the danger is slowly coming to an end. I'm going to kind of just hang with you because we've got Oniana that continues to get hit hard. Let's see if our camera's up, or if it's still down. Do you think that's live? Unfortunately not. Sometimes that happens. This is Cooperstown. So Cooperstown is kind of on the tail end of this. See some lightning, though, in the distance. All right. Let's go back to the radar. Wow, a lot of lightning over Oniana. There's a ton of it. I mean, that's a pretty intense part of the storm. There's also some wind taking place, too. We can try to see the brighter colors indicate just some of the faster eddies of wind in this storm. It's not rotating. Almost everything that we've seen today has indicated straight line wind. The vast majority of the damage that's been reported in our area. I know that there's been a lot of pictures floating around. Most of it's been Scud. I've been looking through some of them, but I think I'm behind by about 500 comments here. Everything that I've seen so far, though, indicates that there's been some scary clouds that have shown up, but everything seems to be Scud related, which is very common when you have these high humidity environments. The cloud deck gets pretty low pretty quickly. And the big thing is there really wasn't much wind shear in the environment today. It's not a day you would expect to see any rotating storms. It's just not that they can't happen, but it's just incredibly rare. We are getting better at picking out the days where there's a tornado risk. Today just wasn't one of those days. Okay. We've been streaming for over 2 hours now. I've been streaming for over 2 hours now. We still have some pretty strong storms that are impacting southern Otsego County, but at this point, the risk is starting to wane for most of the area. We are going to watch this line of storms moving in from the west. I'm not as concerned with this round for most of us, because I think what's going to happen is this is going to run into a rain-cooled environment, and it should weaken. We'll keep an eye on it, obviously, but the thought is that won't be quite as impactful as what we just dealt with here and all those storms that blew through earlier. This produced a lot of wind damage. I'm going to go through your comments and all your photos. I appreciate everything that you sent me. If you have something you want to share, there's a variety of ways you can contact me. weather@wktv.com is a great one because it goes to myself, Eric Gage, James DeFazio. All of us will see that. You can also send me a message on Facebook. Just search for my name, Bill Cardis. I often like to share videos and pictures. I appreciate that. It also helps us if there's any wind damage to send that over to the National Weather Service. And also just keep track of what's happening in our area too. And I do appreciate all the information many of you have shared. We're gonna end the stream for now. If anything new develops, if anything serious develops, we'll jump on. Our next broadcast is at 10 o'clock on WKTV Plus. You can also catch our newscast on WKTV and CBS at 11 o'clock this evening. We'll be primarily wrapping up storm damage from what happened today, and also we'll have the latest on that tornado touchdown, the storm survey that happened today for the tornado touchdown yesterday in Plainfield. So again, thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you